So a while ago on this channel, I covered the news of how a creative Final Fantasy XIV Redditor scammed a housing bot out of 237 million gil. And today I'd like to cover the seedier underbelly of the Final Fantasy XIV housing black market. A post that is also trending on Reddit. And for those who don't know, to get a house in Final Fantasy XIV is arguably the hardest content in the game. Maybe even more so than the raids itself. There's a limited supply of houses in the game, yet an ever-increasing demand to obtain the houses because of how popular the game is. And yes, Yoshi P and
it's the bad kind of hard. It's the non-fun kind of hard. And you're forced to find like different kinds of fun, like chat people up like a creep in front of the play cards.
Team have implemented some changes in 6.0 and they'll be implementing more changes in 6.1 to alleviate the abuse of the housing market right now. But sadly, it seems like the unethical practices of trading Final Fantasy XIV houses for real-world money still exists on the black market outside of the game in a rampant fashion. Let me give you a few examples of all these real money trading or RMT sales posts, for instance. And all these are posted on popular MMORPG forums for real money transactions. Look at this post here. Someone is literally selling a Goblet Medium Plot 49 on the Marlboro server for $500.
Is that $500? The most wanted medium goblet plot, tier 1 plot in the heart of the Burning Heart swimming pools. Walk out of your front yard and jump right into the water. Jeez, I know some like like apartment renting and other agencies that do a worse job at advertising these things.
$100 with the advertising tagline of the most wanted medium goblet plot. And apparently it's a tier 1 plot right in the heart of the brimming heart of swimming pools. Not sure what he meant. Walk out of your front door and jump right into water. Unethical practices aside, this guy obviously puts in some thought in terms of how to sell and market his houses. And just reading the tagline, I'm starting to wonder if he runs some form of housing black market cartel on some deep dark part of the internet, because this does not seem like his first foray.
No.
And here's another one on the Marlboro server from the same seller, selling a medium Shirogane plot 15 for $350. With the tagline "Great High View of the City and the Sea." Also going for $350 is another Marlboro server plot of land sold by the same guy, a medium Shirogane plot 13, with the tagline "Right next to your own mini waterfalls." And what really irks me about these three posts is that how there are actually tons and tons of people out there in Final Fantasy XIV who are desperate to get their own houses via in-game means. And this fella out here is ruthlessly exploiting that imbalance in supply and demand dynamics in the game for real-world profits of his own. Now what's really odd though is there's actually a
But how do they get the houses in the first place? Like, you can only have like one estate. I guess, does it work like in a way that you like, I don't know, somehow get a house and then sell it and then somehow acquire a new house? Or do they house flip? Do they like buy a house with real money and then like, I don't know, sell it for more? Can you like do they like do actual businesses like decorating and house flipping? Like, do you Oh, alts. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether or not like they buy a plot and then make a house and then like super decorate it and like sell it for more money. Like that, they don't do that, do they?
In his post. As of Endwalker 6.0, the relocation of housing plots is no longer possible, yet his sales title includes the words "relo." So I don't know how legitimate this seller is, but imagine paying for the house, paying real-world dollars, only to be scammed by a seller who disappears off the face of the internet. And yes, I know he also tagged FC, which clearly means he intends to transfer the ownership of certain houses by inviting you to the FC and then making you the FC leader. Something that might work for now, but it has been identified by Yoshi P and team as something that they will remove in 6.1 or they will introduce some form of restrictions.
Relocation to land that is not yet ready for purchase will no longer be available as of 6.0. Land evaluation will be removed. Yeah, that was useless anyways. This is good that this was removed. It will no longer be possible to grant brand new FC members authorization to purchase land or the rank of FC master. How long do you have to be a member? Is there additional info on that? How long do you have to be a member of the FC to be granted that permission? Lottery system will be implemented. Woo!
as you
Ishgard,
can see
here I
from the
come.
image here. So it got me really curious. How can this guy be selling all 3 plots on Marlboro? And does this cartel run deeper than it really is? So I started googling the thread name in orange, and lo and behold, I found our man, who is literally exploiting FOMO to earn real world dollars. And I know this is our guy because the listing of houses he is selling on this forum known as Epic NPC matches the price point exactly on the 3 pictures posted on Reddit. And this is how he's exploiting FOMO. This
Yeah, and he's using the same fonts and everything. It's pretty obvious.
man named Chocobo Farm says in his forum advertisement, "Welcome to Chocobo Farm. Get your dream plots and houses now before Endwalker 6.1 changes make it far more difficult." He's obviously talking about how Yoshi P and team have already fixed the relocation exploit in 6.0, which allows people who have already owned a house to have first
Oh man, I hope they track him down and just like ban every single one of them.
dibs on an opening plot of land by relocating there first, instead of going through the whole process of clicking on a placard and praying to God that you are the lucky one. He's also alluding to the fact that in 6.1, Yoshi P and team will implement a new restrictions where new members of a FC cannot be immediately transferred ownership of a FC. More specifically, you can't instantaneously receive the house after payment. And here's his sales pitch: buying as an FC house. It is the easiest and most popular option by far. You do not need to already own a house. The FC with the house will be transferred to you. The trade process takes no more than a few minutes. And then he goes on to talk about how he will offer proof of housing ownership before the payment step to guarantee that he actually owns the house that he is selling.
How long would you have to wait until you were able to promote someone as an FC lead after they joined an FC? Do you know?
Which again raises a whole bunch of other questions. Isn't there a chance someone will know his exact in-game name and report him for a ban? Or worse, if you bought the house from him using real-world dollars, someone might report the plot of land for a breach of TOS. Imagine getting your account banned on top of losing real-world money.
Jeez.
I'm not sure if that's really worthwhile. And if you think that he's only doing it on the Marlboro servers, think again. This man seems to have inventory on 7 other servers as well, as you can see from all these pictures here. And interestingly, it does seem like this man actually does have a good amount of buyers on the forums. Just like this customer who apparently is a verified member of
Easy to work with and was a pleasure. Got to dual plot for my wife and I as we were looking for a new place to call home. Was skeptical at first, mainly since wasn't seeing any reviews. Wife even asked to do one at a time versus both, and seller agreed happily. That said, transaction went extremely quick and smooth, so if you're having second thoughts, this one's definitely trustworthy. 2 happy buyers, thank you so much again. Why wouldn't they just get one house?
of the forum name containing, and he says, "I got the dual plot for my wife. I was skeptical at first, mainly because I was not seeing any reviews, but then said transaction went through quick and smooth, and if you're having second thoughts, this one is definitely trustworthy." And assuming that all
So these 2 people like went and spent like $700 on 2 like in-game houses. Do you know like the wild stuff you can do for like $700, especially where I live in? Jeez.
these reviews are legitimate transaction, some of them are verified members of the forum, so they're not newly created accounts. The seller seems to have already made a good number of transactions. From the span of October 2021 to January 2022, I counted 29 successful transactions. And let's assume all of them are for the lower price point of $350. This man has made over $10,000 over that period of time, which is
What makes you think they're fake posts though? Because people actually do buy these things. Like people, like I know a bunch of people who would buy it, and I'm pretty sure that some of them do. I'm sure he's making good money off of it. It's just a pity.
around $3,300 for 1 month worth of work, just listing houses on a forum and reselling them. Of course, regarding how he got the houses in the first place, nobody knows, but after learning about this, I'm so glad that Yoshi P and team has removed relocation in 6.0, and I'm glad they will also be disabling the loophole of transferring FC ownership to new members come 6.1. Of course, I'm sure unethical and unscrupulous people like him will also figure out new ways to sell houses on the black market. Maybe it's selling accounts or something, who knows. But based on the past live letters, Yoshi P did say they are implementing a new lottery system for housing, where you are no longer needed to spam click a placard to try and secure a house, but merely submit your bid and pray that you are the lucky winner. But I think Yoshi P also clarified that not all modes of housing plot sales will be using this new lottery system, so I guess there might be some cases where it's the mix of the old placard sales method as well. But regardless, the lottery system will definitely greatly diminish the supply of housing that eventually makes it to the Final Fantasy XIV black market. Reading this piece of news though, as someone that saw my FC go through Housing Ultimate via in-game means, having received disappointing news on so many occasions for missing out on certain plots,
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more gullible because like I'm the kind of person who like when I see like these more personal stories, like I know I shouldn't be inclined to believe them because people do write these more personalized stories um that just kind of sound more real. But I'm always just like, why would someone lie about all the things that they've said? Like I don't know, it's just incomprehensible to me.
it's quite upsetting to learn that people are actually making silly money by profiting off people's love and passion for Final Fantasy XIV. Like, obviously I know the other side of the argument that people will make is, why do you care? If those buyers are willing to pony up $500 for a plot of land, why should we judge or care? Aren't there both
Pony
willing
up? Is
buyers
that
and
how you say
sellers in
it?
this case? Assuming these are not a scam, of course, and the reviews here are not fake reviews, well then this crosses into the realm of breaching the TOS. I mean, the terms of services is there to protect the player base and to ensure everyone has a fair playing environment. That itself is something worth thinking about. Also, there's this whole other can of worms around ethics and whether this is exploitative behavior, given you are really just monetizing people's FOMOs and passion for the game. But hey, I guess just like reality, there's always some black sheeps amongst any community. So what's the play then? Well, nothing is confirmed, but I know some people like myself is hoping Island Sanctuary could be an instant solution.
I
Of course,
can't
we
wait.
know it's not a one-to-one replacement for actually owning a house in the game. But if Island Sanctuary allows me to customize the aesthetics of my farm, allows me to choose which minions to run about, I'll be more than happy to spend my days retiring in Eorzea on my very own island. I remember vividly before Endwalker being super psyched about Island Sanctuary, so now that the MSQs are over, raids are already under the way, Island Sanctuary is definitely the next thing I'm looking forward to in the game. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the Final Fantasy XIV housing black market? How do you
Leveling
feel
all
about
my
people
jobs.
making real-world money off selling in-game houses? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're keen to hear about breaking news related to the new Island Sanctuary or further patch updates, make sure to subscribe to this channel by hitting the button right here. More content coming your way. In case you missed it, I covered how someone scammed a housing bought out of 237 million gil. This video here is the video of interest. Thanks for watching, a shout out to my Patreon subscribers for keeping the channel alive, and I'll see you soon.
Wow. Unbelievable the things people would do to make money. It's like, that like the person who would do that, like you instantly know that they don't really have any other commitments in their life. Like if they do these like massive attempts to like make money before 6.1, that means that is pretty much where their time is going. That means they have no job. They're just like trying real hard to I don't know, to just it's disgusting. It's gross.